do we need Mr. Harmon?
It's referenced this witness. I don't know if it is.
Yeah, we better.
Okay.
Just one issue, if we could just readdress on Ivy Van. I know the court was liming out the portion that the state asked how much money she had given him in total. Would the court reconsider the question that was asked by the state? Did he tell you that he bought that vehicle? And she said that yes, he had told her that he had bought the vehicle without getting into the amount of money that she gave him. Would you reconsider allowing that question?
Why? What's it relevant to?
Judge, it goes to show how he has lied to these women, how he has portrayed that he owns that vehicle. That vehicle, we believe, was involved in the homicide and transporting the victim in this vehicle. And in fact, it's not. It's Calissa Kelly's vehicle.
Any further argument?
Your Honor, that's the only reason is to show that he lied. There had to be some sort of a link in order for it to be relevant for the purpose of whether or not he committed the murder. And there isn't.
I won't change my mind. Okay? And there was something you need to bring up?
Yes. On direct examination of Eboni Wiley yesterday, and also through some of the other witnesses, the state brought out the fact that my client's mother had said that she's a mean girl. And then they brought out the fact that, from Eboni Wiley, that I never told her that she's a mean girl. I believe that that opens up the door for me to question Eboni Wiley about some of the things that she's familiar with as far as Felicia Williams does, such as that she was suspended from school, that she was stealing, that she was getting into fights. Because it's my belief that it's now appropriate for me to follow up with this witness and ask if she in fact talked about those things, which is very much part of what she's talked about before, because she talks about how she's taken her under her wings because she's getting in trouble, but how the mother warns her when she first wants to be friends with her, you know, that Felicia's going to do what Felicia's going to do. And so because the state elicited that she never told Gloria Gibson that she's a mean girl, I believe that that opens up the door for me to get into that narrow area that I just described.
Yeah, Mr. Harmon.
Your Honor, what is the relevant point of that information, though? What would be the relevance of that? The reason we're eliciting that is to show that Gloria Gibson bought into the lie the defendant was perpetuating and willingly went along with it and was part of this conspiracy to cover up this murder. The fact that Felicia Williams may have misbehaved in some form or fashion, unless there's some linkage to Gloria Gibson, which there's not, what relevance does it have to anything, other than trashing the victim and disparaging her?
It's not to disparage or trash the victim, Your Honor, and some of that has already come out. It is to impeach Eboni Wiley. It's to impeach her credibility as a witness based on what she just said, and it's so I can explore, you know, whether or not this statement that obviously the state believed was very important and had to elicit about her saying she's a mean girl, and that there's actually a foundation for that, and that this witness is familiar with the foundation for that, and you know, and maybe she's going to admit that she talked about it, maybe she's not, I don't know, but it's definitely something that's been discussed in the past. In fact, it was the reason why they brought her over to the apartment.
So, Miss Wiley's representation on direct was that she never talked about the victim to Miss Gibson, correct?
Correct.
Okay. So, you can, if you have a good faith basis to impeach her regarding whether or not she in fact talked to Miss Gibson about the victim, that you can get into. Otherwise, none of that other stuff is relevant. Okay?
Your Honor, one point of order I wanted to bring to the court's attention. Tomorrow morning, my secretary brought it to my attention this morning, I have a hearing in front of Judge Polo on the same case that I dealt with before. I believe when we were in the hearing on the Dante Morris case, the Titan Goodson case, and this is to set a trial date in the new year. I'm not sure at this point, I don't recall when she takes the bench, but I'm assuming if she takes the bench at 8:30, there's no reason I couldn't have that done and completed well before 9 o'clock and be back here in this courtroom.
All right. Let me contact her and see if she can accommodate us.
Okay,
Okay?
all right, good enough, thank you, Your Honor.
What, and I'm sorry, tell me the name of that case?
It's Titan Goodson.
Okay. Okay, do we have all of our jurors?
I'm still missing juror number 65.
Mr. Zimmer ready? Okay. We have a contact number for him?
Jordan does.
Okay. Have George just reach out to him.
Okay.
He's probably parking or something, but let's just make sure. So apparently, Mr. Zimmeretti, juror number 69, is in the emergency room. He said he contacted, no, not 69. 65. Mr. Zimmeretti, he says that the bailiff called his cell phone and he said he was in the emergency room. He said he called my office, but we don't have any voicemail messages from him. So I think we should just proceed forward. State.
This is one of our jurors, not one of our alternates.
Correct.
Okay.
So then that means that Mr. Dean would now.
Your Honor, did he indicate how long this would potentially be, or his seriousness?
He's in the emergency room, that's all I know.
Yeah, I didn't inquire as to what it was or length. By his voice, he did not sound like he felt well.
Okay, with that, are we ready to proceed?
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay.
Stage ready.
All right, let's go ahead and have Ms. Wiley retake the witness stand. All right, good morning, Ms. Wiley. You remain under oath from being sworn in yesterday, and let's go ahead and bring in our jury.
Ready, Judge?
Yep.
All rise, jury entering.
All right, everyone have a seat. Welcome back. And actually, as long as you can see, so you guys don't have to go back to your assigned, you don't have any type of assigned seating, just so you know. Also, first of all, before we begin, did any of you overnight read, watch, listen to any news accounts related to this case? Did you do any independent investigation on your own, or did you speak with anyone about this case at all? No. Okay, very good. If you notice, we're missing one of our jurors. One of our jurors had a medical emergency, and so he is excused. Okay? So, we're ready to proceed forward with the cross-examination of this witness who remains under oath from her testimony yesterday. With that, defense, you may proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Good morning.
Good morning.
If you can please make sure that you speak into the microphone so we can all hear you.
Yes, sir.
Ms. Wiley, as a result of May 16th and May 17th of 2014, you were arrested and charged with lying to law enforcement.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes.
And you were appointed an attorney,
Yes.
and that case remains pending today.
Yes, sir.
The case is not set for trial.
I believe not. I'm not sure.
Okay, well, you certainly haven't prepared for trial. We're going to go in front of a jury to decide whether you're guilty or not guilty on that case.
No.
Yeah. In fact, it's set for what's called a disposition hearing in October.
Okay, yes.
All right. Your lawyer on that case is present here today,
Yes.
and he was present with you yesterday.
Yes.
You have not, in fact, pled guilty to that charge, despite the fact you, in fact, are guilty of that charge.
I'm not guilty, but I know I lied in the beginning.
Okay. You're charged with lying to law enforcement.
Correct.
Okay. And you know you lied to law enforcement,
Yes, I did.
but you're not guilty.
I'm guilty of lying, yes.
Your hope is that when all this is said and done, that case will be dismissed.
Yes, they understand me, yes.
Is that the understanding?
Yes.
You've been told that once this is all said and done,
No, I have not been told that.
Okay, so how do
But
you...
my hope is that this, on my behalf, that they see me through.
Okay, we just said that is the understanding. What does that mean?
My understanding that I hope that my case do be dropped.
Okay. Has anyone told you that it's likely to be dropped?
No.
Ms. Wiley, would you agree that you're a pretty good liar?
No.
Disagree with that?
I disagree.
All right. Can we agree that on May 16th, in the evening hours of May 16th, you told a story to multiple people, right?
Yes.
You told a story to a person who you refer to as your brother, right?
Yes.
Today you say that what the story you told to your brother was in fact a lie.
Yes.
Okay. You told a story to the mother of Granville Ritchie, right?
Yes.
And today and yesterday you're telling this jury that that was a lie, right?
Yes, I lied in the beginning, sir.
Okay. On May 16th, when you spoke with law enforcement, you told a story to law enforcement, and that, in fact, was a lie.
I continue to lie. Yes,
That's
I did.
right.
Yes.
That's right. In fact, 2 different law enforcement officers, the evening hours of May 16th, you told a lie.
Yes.
Okay. And you did this despite the fact that a young girl who you referred to as your godchild was missing.
Correct.
Okay? Because you felt it was in your best interest at that time to lie. Right?
Yes.
And as a result of you lying to all those people, they all believed you. Yes?
Yes.
So you're pretty good at it, right?
No.
Okay. Well, you fooled them, did you not?
As you say, but no.
Assuming you lied,
Yes, I did lie.
you fooled them, assuming you lied.
Right, but I told the truth.
And only you know whether or not you lied or not, right?
Right.
Okay. Ms. Wiley, it's my understanding that you first met Felicia Williams about 3 months prior to May 16, 2014.
You repeat that, sir?
Did you, in fact, first meet Felicia Williams, Sugar Plum, about 3 months prior to May 16,
Yeah, about
2014?
Yeah, about 4 months, 3 months. Yes, sir. I believe
Well,
so.
did you, in fact, move into the rooming house that was next door to where Felicia Williams was living in February of 2014?
Correct. I'm not sure
Okay.
when, what day or what month I moved in the rooming house, but I know it's the same year of.
You're not sure what month it was?
I'm not sure what month it was, sir.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. It's been a while, right?
Yes.
Do you recall on August 7, 2014, do you recall coming in and meeting? Your lawyer was present. Mr. Harmon was present. Another prosecutor was present. A court reporter was present. Detective Carroll was present. And you were put under oath to give a sworn statement. You remember that?
Yes.
Kimberly Hyman was present. She was one of the prosecutors. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And you remember on that particular day, you were told that you had to tell the truth, right?
Right.
You were told that if you lie and it involves a first-degree murder case, not only could you potentially be looking at a 5-year felony, but you could be looking at a first-degree felony facing up to 30 years in prison. You recall that?
Yes,
Okay, Mr. Harmon told you that, right?
yes.
To emphasize how important it is to tell the truth, right?
As far as I remember, yes, sir.
Okay. And you recall on that particular date well, first of all, you recall Ms. Hyman starting out after everything had been explained to you as far as the importance of telling the truth? You recall Ms. Hyman telling you, we're here to talk about Granville Ritchie. Recall that?
Okay.
Judge, I'm going to object as to hearsay.
Is this impeachment?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, go ahead.
Judge and I would object as to impeachment. She said she didn't recall.
Well, then,
Refresh your memory.
I'll be glad to refresh your memory.
Okay, why don't we do that?
You do recall Mr. Harmon telling you that it's potentially a first-degree felony to lie about a first-degree murder case, right?
I don't recall.
You don't recall. Okay. Let's, if I could approach, it'll be page 6 of the August 7th. And it's going to be starting on line 7 through 21. You can read that to yourself and let me know when you're done.
Yes,
Okay.
I see it.
Do you now recall Mr. Harmon telling you that lying about a first-degree murder case is a first-degree felony, 30-year penalty?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You're not charged with that, right?
No, I should not be charged with that.
You're charged with lying to law enforcement, right?
I lied.
Okay. Now, page 8 of that same document, if I could approach, starting on line 10.
Can I see it, counsel?
Yeah. Line 10. Refresh your memory.
Judge, I would ask the defense counsel ask a question. I don't believe she's been asked another question.
Is this on the rooming house move-in date issue?
This is on the statement that was made at the very beginning as it relates to her telling the truth on that day, and Ms. Hyman's statement
All
about.
right, you need to ask the question. What's your next question?
Do you recall Ms. Hyman telling you on that occasion, August 7th, that we're here to talk about Granville Ritchie?
Yes,
She told you that.
I believe so, sir.
Okay. You believe so, or she told you that?
You can refresh my memory.
May I approach, Your Honor?
Yes?
Referring to page 8, line 10. Read it to yourself and let me know when you're done.
Okay. Yes, sir.
Okay? Does that refresh your memory?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The other question I had asked you a little bit ago was if you recall moving into that rooming house next to Felicia Williams in February.
And I'm not sure of the dates.
Okay. Might your sworn testimony during the same occasion on August 7th, 2014, assist you in remembering the date? Might it, if you read your own testimony from that day?
Yeah.
Okay.
By me estimating the months of me staying there, I'm
Okay.
not sure what date.
But reading your words
Okay.
under oath on that day, might that assist you in remembering?
Yes, sir.
May I approach, Your Honor? Page
Yes.
17, line 14, to the bottom of the page.
You said 17?
Line 14 to the bottom of the page.
17. Yeah, by February.
Well,
I'm not sure, but by February, yeah. Of my remembrance, sir. Yes.
okay. Do you recall telling law enforcement when Ms. Hyman, do you recall Ms. Hyman asking you,
Judge, you're going to vote.
Yes?
recording.
Do you recall Ms. Hyman asking you, okay, so we're back to January, February sometime, and your answer being February?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So can we agree that February of 2014 is when you moved into the rooming house?
Probably so, yeah.
You lived there for a few months?
Yes, sir.
Okay. The rooming house was a house that had 6 different individuals living there, right?
Yes.
Okay, and each individual rented a individual room.
Right.
Okay. And then you had a kitchen that you used, community kitchen?
Yes.
Okay. And you met Felicia Williams because Felicia Williams and her sisters would come over to the rooming house on a regular basis.
When I met Sugar Plum, which is Felicia,
Right.
she was knocking on the door.
I'm sorry?
She was knocking on the door, and nobody went answering, so I ended up answering the door.
Okay. You knew of Felicia Williams or Sugar Plum coming over to the rooming house because you had seen her coming over to the rooming
One
house?
time, I had seen her one time knocking on the door. Yes, that's how I approached the door.
Not just knocking on your door.
It's this one door to get in.
Okay. Well, did she not come over to the house to visit someone who you
I
believe
seen her
was
one
her-
time visit,
Okay,
but oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, this only works if you all speak one at a time, because the court reporter can't
Yes,
take
ma'am.
down 2 people speaking. So if you would
Yes, ma'am.
please let counsel finish his question.
Okay.
And then you will answer, and he will let you finish your answer.
Yes,
Okay?
ma'am.
All right, very good.
Thank you.
So repeat your question.
Had you not seen Felicia Williams come to the rooming house to meet with the man that you believe was her uncle, I believe?
Well, she told me that that's why she was coming over there to see her uncle.
Okay. Did you in fact believe that that's what she was doing?
Yes, I believed it.
Okay. Did you know whether or not it was the uncle?
No, I did not.
All right. So that's how you meet, right?
Yes.
All right. And at some point, you decide that you want to be her godmother.
Not at that time, that when we first met, but yes.
And if you listen carefully to my question, and if you don't understand, please ask me to ask
Yes,
you
sir.
again.
Yes, sir.
At some point,
Yes, yes.
you decided you wanted to be her godmother
Yes, sir.
during that 2-month time period, right?
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And you did that because you felt like you could be a positive influence on her,
Yes.
that she could use some guidance.
Yes.
Because you were aware that she needed some guidance, in your opinion.
Yes.
Okay. As it relates to school? Yes?
Yes, sir.
As it relates to behavior?
Yes, sir.
As it relates to not stealing?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No one else knew that you had decided that you were her godmother. Is that accurate?
Yes. Yes. Her mother knew. Her sisters them knew. Yes.
They all knew.
Yes, they all knew.
During this same time period, from time to time, you would consume ecstasy. Is that correct?
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Okay. Ecstasy is MDMA, right?
I believe so.
Molly and ecstasy is basically the same thing.
Probably so.
I'm sorry?
Probably so. I'm not sure.
Okay. Do you know?
No, I don't.
You don't know.
No.
Okay. But you know that from time to time you would do Molly, right?
Right.
You consume Molly, it's a drug, right?
Right.
And from time to time you would consume ecstasy.
No.
Okay. Well, you just said you don't know whether or not it's the same.
Right, but it's the different forms of looking at it.
So, Are you telling this jury that ecstasy and Molly is not the same?
If you look at the difference of the view of it, you'll say it's not the same, but you'll say, hey, it feels the same. I feel like it feel the same.
So it gives you the same sensation, basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But when you buy these drugs, it's not like going to the pharmacy and buying
No.
drugs, right?
No, sir.
It's not a controlled environment, right?
Judge,
Right.
I don't object as to relevance.
I'm getting,
Okay, you need to get there.
I'm getting there, Your Honor.
Okay, quickly.
You've indicated that taking Molly causes you to enjoy sex more.
Yeah. It could
Yes?
have. Yes, sir.
Okay. It's sort of, you feel more spiritual when you take Molly, right?
No, I don't feel more spiritual. If I'm hanging around friends, if we communicating on life and talking about what's good of God or what God have done for me, yes, I could talk spiritual.
Okay. And the Molly helps you with that?
No,
Okay.
because if I'm sober, I could talk the same.
Okay. And if you have a bad trip on Molly, in fact, you had a bad trip on Molly where you contacted law enforcement and...
Judge, can I object as to relevance?
we discussed...
This is what we've discussed
Yes.
previously. I'll overrule the objection.
You, in fact, after having a bad trip on Molly, contacted law enforcement and told them that you felt like Satan was manipulating your mind.
So 2012, that's what you referring to.
And when was it?
2012. you
2012, that's right, 2 years
referring to.
earlier.
I did not take Molly 2012. It was an ecstasy pill.
Okay, so you did take ecstasy.
2012, but around the time that I was staying in the rooming house, I was taking Molly.
Okay. But I want to make sure I understand, because
Okay.
I think a few minutes ago, you said that you weren't sure whether or not Molly and ecstasy are
Was
both...
in it.
Let me
Right.
finish, please.
Okay, I'm sorry.
That you weren't sure whether or not Molly and ecstasy, in fact, were MDMA and the same type of controlled substance.
Okay, so I misunderstood that. I'm trying to give you a best description of the difference of it.
Are you telling us today that you know that ecstasy and Molly are not the same?
It's probably not the same because the forms of it, you will say it's not the same, but the feeling, yes.
The feeling is the same.
Feeling, yes. Of sexually, yes. Communicating, yes. Energetic, yes. But the 2012 that you're referring on, I felt that when I took that, I felt like I was too high. It wasn't the same thing that I took in 2014. Of the form of looking at it, no, it was not, sir.
It was a bad trip.
It off of ecstasy. I call it. It calls. People call it monkeys. People call it different kind of ecstasies of that. But Molly, I believe, is a different substance of.
But you don't know.
I'm not sure of it because, but if you look at it, you'll say, "Hey, it's not. This don't look the same."
Right, but you just told this jury that a good trip on ecstasy or Molly basically
Not
does the
Molly.
same.
Not Molly. It doesn't make me feel. It didn't make me feel the same of 2012.
No. I'm talking about the good feeling.
Okay, the good feeling.
The good feeling's the same, right?
Sexually, yes. Energetic, yes.
Okay. And the bad feeling, when you experience it, you described as Satan trying to manipulate your mind.
Not manipulate my mind. I didn't say exactly that. I said I feel like Satan trying to get into my mind. And that was
Satan's
2000.
trying to get into my mind, okay.
Yeah, that's what I said, sir.
All right.
It was a long time ago, and that was way before 2014. I felt like I was so high that I needed to be felt protected.
All right,
Yeah.
let's move along from this topic. Let's move on.
On May 16th, 2014, you took half a Molly before you arrived at the apartment.
What he gave me, yes.
Yeah, you took half a Molly before you arrived at the apartment, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And that was where? At Checkers, right?
No, I'm not sure when I consumed it, but I know I consumed it before, I believe, when I got in the house, before I got in the house.
Okay, did you
First,
also...
by remembrance, yes. Before I got in the house, I believe I consumed it.
Did you also take a Molly before you arrived at Checkers?
No, I don't think so. He showed me the Molly. I don't remember. But I know I took it from him.
If you had the opportunity to review your testimony from June 17th of this year, might that refresh your memory about whether or not you took a Molly before you got to Checkers?
I don't believe I took the Molly. I don't remember.
Okay, do you recall giving sworn truthful testimony in June of this year? I'm asking you questions, court reporter present. Do you recall that?
Yeah.
Were you telling the truth on that day?
Yes, I was telling the truth.
Okay.
So it's my remembering, yes.
All right. Being able to read your answer to my questions, might that refresh your memory?
Okay, yeah.
If I could approach, Your Honor, page 81. Pretty much the whole page. You can read that to yourself, the entire page. Let me know when you're done.
Okay, so up here, you talk about tape.
Does it refresh your memory?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Did you, in fact, take a Molly
Yes,
in
I
the
took.
car?
Yes,
Before
I took
you
a
got to
Molly.
Checkers?
I didn't take it as in I put it in my mouth. I took it from him.
During the, I think you said 2 months you lived at the rooming house?
Mm-hmm.
Yes?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You need to answer yes and no when
Yes, sir.
appropriate. Okay. Now, during that time period, you dated, you were in a relationship and dated a person by the name of Ray.
Okay.
Judge, I'm objecting.
I'm sorry?
to relevance.
Yes.
What's the relevance of
Can we
this?
put-
Yep, why not?
When did you indicate that you worked the week of May 14th?
Say it again. I don't understand the question.
When did you indicate to the jury that you worked on May 14th? Did you work?
7-3. My schedule is 7.
7 to 3?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
7 a.m. to 3 p.m.
And did you work every day that week?
I believe so. I'm not sure.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you, if you're not sure,
Yes, sir.
just say so. Let's not guess.
Okay. Okay.
All right?
Okay.
Do you know that you worked every day that
I'm
week?
not sure.
Okay. Let's talk specifically about the 16th of May. Did you work on the 16th of May?
Yes.
What time did you get to work?
7 a.m.
And when you get to work at 7 a.m., how do you check in?
I clock in.
How do you clock in?
I think it's a number. We clock in with the number.
Okay, is there some sort of a scanner too there for your fingerprint or something like that?
I don't remember, but I know that we clock in.
Okay.
I think it's a number or a scan.
Okay. But so you would go up yourself
Yes.
and you would clock in, I've arrived.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And then you clock out when you leave, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And did you in fact clock in at 1:45 that on Friday the 16th instead of 7 a.m.?
No, I clocked in at 7.
You didn't
'Cause
clock in
that's
at
my-
1:44 p.m.?
No.
Did you in fact clock out at 8:44 p.m. on May 16th?
No, sir.
Okay, very good.
On Saturday, May 17th, I think you indicated you were scheduled to work that day.
Yes.
You showed up for, I believe, 15 minutes.
Yes. Yes.
Did you check in?
I believe so. I did. Yes.
You're not sure?
I'm not sure, but I know I came to work and they was telling me that they have an Amber alert out for the little girl who was coming up to the job, and I said, I know. I started busting out in tears, and it was like, "Nah, you don't need to work today."
Okay. Let's talk about that. A few days prior to May 14th, Jeremiah and Felicia were walking down the street. You recall that?
May 14th?
Yes. A few days prior,
Okay.
when you approached them, drove by the two of them, yelling and cussing at them. You recall that?
I don't cuss at them.
Never cussed at them.
No, I don't cuss at them.
So, if Jeremiah told Officer Kelly that you did that, that's a lie.
Objection, Judge.
What's the legal basis for the objection?
Hearsay.
To impeach her.
It's improper impeachment. Sustain the objection. You can't ask a witness to comment on another witness's veracity.
Okay. But it's your testimony that you never told Jeremiah and Felicia, you never stopped by yelling and cussing at them, right?
No, I never did that.
Okay, a few days prior to May 14th of 2014, right?
I never did that. I never
Okay.
cussed at them.
All right. And you did not, I assume then, when confronted by Jeremiah the next day, tell Jeremiah that you just wanted them to go home. And that's the reason why you yelled at them and cussed at them.
I didn't cuss at them.
Right, so I assume you didn't tell her
No, I didn't.
that the reason was you just wanting them to go home, right? Correct?
I don't understand that, sir. I didn't cuss at them. I
Okay.
didn't yell at them.
All right. Did Felicia, in fact, go to your workplace on 2 occasions looking for you when you weren't there?
Yes.
And in fact, your employer was upset and
Objection, Judge. Hearsay.
Sustain as to hearsay.
okay. You then approached Felicia because you were upset that it was potentially causing you problems at work, right?
Yeah, I let her know she can't come up there, and then she knows it's school hours. How fair does that look to me and then her parents?
Well, school hours or not, it was, you weren't happy about her coming to your work, right?
I wasn't happy because it was that situation of what she was doing. It don't matter about my workplace.
But you were upset that it was causing you problems at work.
Not too much problem at work.
Okay, well, let's talk about May 16th. When you went to pick up Felicia on May 16th, did you see Cha-Cha?
May 16.
And Cha-Cha is Charlicia, right?
Yes, I didn't see her.
Okay. Did you see Jeremiah?
Which is who? The fat girl?
The
Or the one who's next?
other
fat girl?
sister, Jeremiah.
No, I didn't.
Was there,
I'm sorry, I hate to interrupt, but we need to take a quick break, okay? I'm sorry, ladies and gentlemen of the jury, step into the jury room. Ms. Wiley, just remain where you are.
All rise, jury exiting. Leave your notes on your
Okay, jury's left the courtroom.
Stephen,
We're having
can you find out who,
extracurricular
is
activity upstairs.
this related to us? Is it related to this courtroom?
Yes.
Okay, they need to come in here, I'm gonna talk to them. Everyone have a seat.
You would judge what's all those people brought into the courtroom if they're involved.
Ms. Wiley, you can step down if you would like. Just remember, you can't talk to anyone about this case.
Where you want me to sit at?
Pardon me?
Sit out here?
You can go to the witness room.
Okay.
There's a witness room, so why don't you wait in there? And the other thing I don't want people doing is walking in here with their underwear hanging out. So please let the bailiff know, people cannot walk in here with their underwear hanging out. It's a court of law. Okay, so, let's see here.
Sir, take that off your head.
Okay, let me get everyone's name for the record. I understand there's some disturbance out front, is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what is your name, sir?
Wiley.
Okay, and what is your relation to this
I'm the
case?
father of Felicia.
Okay, very good. And Felicia's mother is here, correct? Okay, and who else do we have here? Who's in the back there? Oh, I'm sorry?
Sabrina Teal,
And what's your relation to this case?
my sister is dead now.
Okay, you're, Eboni Wiley's your
Yes,
sister?
I
Okay, and then who else was involved in the altercation or whatever it was? Pardon me?
My mom is outside. My mother.
Okay, bring
Bring her
her
in.
in.
Put your pants are pulled up and don't come in here.
Yeah, don't come in here with your underwear hanging out. Nobody wants to look at it.
No food
No,
or drink in
buddy.
here, no telephones out, nothing.
Okay, ma'am, what is your name?
Sabrina Teal.
And you're Eboni Wiley's mother?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, it's my understanding there was some confrontation or something, words were said outside of the courtroom?
No, ma'am. I was at the vending machine and she pushed me in my bag.
Who's
and I
the
turned
she?
around- Felicia. She pushed me in my bag and I turned around and asked her why she hit me.
Okay. So, here's the deal. I don't know what's going on outside, but it's becoming a distraction to this proceeding, and I can't have it. And I understand, believe me, I understand that emotions are running high, and I understand everyone's under a lot of stress and anxiety due to the situation. However, you all have got to control that, because if you can't control it, then I'm going to have to excuse you from the courtroom. And I'm going to have to make it so that you're not becoming a distraction. Because what's happening is, I can hear stuff going on out there, which means then the jury can hear stuff going on out there, and then it takes away from the evidence that the jury needs to hear. So please, I'm going to ask nicely, only one more time, nicely, please act like adults, control your emotions, and if you cannot, then you need to not be in the courtroom, and you probably need not to be at the courthouse. All right? This is the last time I'm going to ask nicely. All right, very good. Let's go ahead and just take a quick 5-minute break, let everyone calm down, and then we'll get going. Thank you.